Are you brave enough to explore the most haunted places in America, from abandoned asylums filled with whispers to forests where shadows dance? Today, I will be taking you on a spine-chilling journey through the United States' most spooky locations. Over the past few years, exploring spooky places has become a favorite pastime of many Americans. Today, we will be going over the spookiest places in every United States state, starting with number 1, Alabama. Alright mateys, the first place that we will be going over in this video is the infamous Redmont Hotel. Located at 2101 5th Avenue North, Birmingham, Alabama, the Redmont Hotel stands as a beacon of history and mystery in Birmingham, Alabama. This architectural gem dating back to the 1925 not only offers a luxurious stay, but also a brush with the supernatural, making it a must-visit destination for those intrigued by ghost stories and historical charm. The Redmont Hotel is Alabama's oldest continuously operational hotel, infused with nearly a century of stories and events. Originally opened in the Roaring '20s, the hotel encapsulates the era's grandeur, being one of the first in Birmingham to feature modern amenities like air conditioning and an automated elevator system. However, it's not just history that attracts visitors, but the whisperings of the paranormal. Among the most chilling stories is that of country music legend Hank Williams, who allegedly spent his last living day here in 1952. Guests and staffs have reported sightings of Hank's ghost on the 9th floor, sometimes accompanied by the eerie sounds of a distant guitar. Another spectral resident includes the mysterious woman in white, seen on the upper floors, and the ghost of Clifford Stiles, a former owner who is said to roam his old suite. These stories contribute to the hotel's allure as one of the most haunted spots in the United States. Alright mateys, the next haunted place that we are going over is the Red Onion Saloon in Alaska. One of the most recognizable spirits in the Red Onion Saloon is Lydia. Lydia was one of the prostitutes of the former brothel. The years may have passed, but her spirit apparently did not. There have been various reports of footsteps heard on the second floor where the brothel used to be. The strong smell of perfume would linger in the air, and there would also be extreme cold spots where the smell of perfume had originated. Once there was a great disturbance on the upper floors, so the police were called to check. As they approached the stairs, they saw a figure, believed to be the ghost of Lydia, running down the hall and into a room which was once the former madame's. Under inspection, the room was empty and there was nowhere for an intruder to go. Lydia has been seen many times in full apparition, and she has also been observed walking around the madame's room. It is said that sometimes she can be hostile towards men, however it has not been established if she died in the house. The town of Tombstone, Arizona was made famous by a gunfight at the OK Corral that took place in 1881. leading to a lasting reputation as the heart of the Wild West. From brothels to bullet holes, many buildings from this iconic era still remain, including the Birdcage Theatre. The small and simple theatre provided the town with all the entertainment cowboys and miners could want, with plenty of alcohol, poker, entertainers, and prostitutes to go around. Though these heyday happenings are long past, they'll still remembered through the bullet holes in the walls, the artifacts on display, and the ghosts that reportedly remain. The haunting reports around the Birdcage Theatre are numerous, and one of the most common claims is that the theatre will often reek of thick cigar smoke, even though it's been decades since anyone lit up a smoke inside. Other people say they will hear laughter and loud talking coming from empty areas of the theatre, as long as there's still parties going on and lively shows being performed there. The theatre piano has also been heard playing notes by itself, adding to this idea that a paranormal party rages on inside the birdcage. Apparitions are also a regular occurrence at the Birdcage Theatre. Shadow figures as stagehands are often spotted moving around the stage. Others report the apparitions of cowboys around the bars or prostitutes in flowing dresses dancing around the rooms. In the 1920s, the English family moved into Peel Mansion. W.L. English, an agricultural agent for the Frisco Railroad, bought the house into 180 acres to grow apples. He and his wife had 4 children, including twin daughters Marjorie and Elizabeth. One day, while playing tennis, Marjorie felt a sharp pain in her side. Doctors didn't realize her appendix was on the opposite side, a condition sometimes seen in twins. By the time a surgeon arrived, her appendix had ruptured. Makeshift surgery was performed in an upstairs bedroom, but the infection was so bad the nurse fainted. The doctor didn't expect her to live and left her unstitched, covered by a sheet. Marjorie later described her spirit leaving her body, floating through a wall into a quiet meadow and approaching a bright light. Something blocked her from going further and she returned. After 5 hours, someone noticed the sheet move. She was alive. She spent a year recovering and never spoke about the experience until adulthood. Later, when visiting the house with her husband, she found the old surgery room locked. The new owner said it was haunted by a little girl. Marjorie told him that girl was her, but he didn't believe her. The experience didn't make her religious, but deeply spiritual. She believed death was beautiful, not to be feared. Marjorie passed away peacefully in 2000. The Glen Tavern Inn, a haunted slice of California history. Located halfway between Los Angeles and Santa Barbara, in the historic town of San Sepulveda, the Glen Tavern Inn has been captivating guests since 1911. Originally a luxurious stop for oil magnates and Hollywood stars, the inn took a darker turn during the Prohibition, when it became a secret speakeasy and gambling den. Over the years, the Glen Tavern Inn gained fame not only for its Tudor craftsman architecture, but also its haunted reputation. Guests and ghost hunters alike report eerie encounters in rooms like 307, where a headless cowboy is said to linger, and 107, home to the mysterious spirit Calvin. The playful ghost Elise is known to cause mischief in the dean's room. Recognized by the U.S. National Registry of Historical Places and featured on Ghost Adventures, the Glen Tavern Inn offers more than just a place to stay. It offers a journey into the paranormal. Fairfield Hills State Hospital, echoes of the past in Newtown, Connecticut. Tucked in the scenic town of Newtown, Connecticut Fairfield Hills State Hospital stands as a haunting reminder of 20th century psychiatric care. Opened in 1931 and closed in 1995, the hospital was created to relive overcrowding in the state's mental institutions and featured the then progressive cottage plan, a design intended to offer more humane treatment in a therapeutic setting. Yet beneath its mission of healing lies a darker legacy. The facility became known not only for medical advancements, but also for controversial treatments like electroconvulsive therapy, and over time whispers of paranormal activity began to grow. Today, the abandoned campus draws ghost hunters, urban explorers, and history buffs alike. Shadowy apparitions, chilling sounds, and cold spots have all been reported, particularly in the rooms where intense therapies were once administered. The underground tunnel system, once used to discreetly move patients between buildings, is now infamous for echoing phantom footsteps and whispered voices. Fairfield Hills continues to captivate those intrigued by the thin line between history and the haunted. Located in rural Sussex County along Route 78, Old Maggie's Bridge is the centre of one of Delaware's most chilling legends. Named after Maggie Bloxham, a pregnant woman who reportedly died in a tragic carriage accident in the late 1800s. Some say she was decapitated. The bridge has become a hotspot for ghost stories and supernatural encounters. According to local law, Maggie's spirit haunts the bridge eternally, searching for her unborn child. It's said that if you visit the bridge at midnight and shout, "Maggie, I have your baby," often repeated 3 times, her ghost may appear. Witnesses report eerie phenomena like phantom sobbing, whispers, cold gusts, and even flickering lights. Paranormal investigators have documented unexplained audio recordings, glowing orbs, and strange shadows. Some visitors also experience car malfunctions such as engines stalling or lights dimming, especially after attempting the ritual. Whether you're a believer or just curious, Old Maggie's Bridge continues to draw thrill seekers eager to test the legends for themselves. Nestled along the scenic Gulf Coast of Key West, the Ocean Key Resort offers stunning sunset views and luxurious accommodations, but it also harbors a chilling secret. Built in 1981 on the side of an old pier, the resort's 3rd floor is said to be haunted by a restless spirit. Guests have reportedly experiencing sudden cold spots, flickering lights, and the unsettling sounds of keys jingling with no visible source. Many describe heavy sighs and curtains moving on their own during the night, while some have even felt the presence of someone sitting on their bed. In 2015, a couple staying at the resort awoke to find their room seemingly disturbed, followed by a sharp clap beside their ear and a rush of cold air. More recently, in 2023, a guest in room 317 reported seeing a blonde-haired woman standing on their balcony, only for her to vanish when it approached. Despite its modern comforts and vibrant atmosphere, the Ocean Key Resort carries the lingering presence of an unseen guest tied to the land's mysterious past. For those who visit, the question remains, will you check in if you dare? Standing in downtown Atlanta, the Ellis Hotel was once known as the Weinkauf Hotel, a place forever marked by tragedy. On December 7th, 1946, a massive fire broke out in the early morning hours, killing 119 people and making it the deadliest hotel fire in U.S. history. At the time, the building was considered fireproof, but it lacked fire escapes, alarms, and sprinklers, leaving many guests with no way out. Today, the hotel has been beautifully restored and renamed the Ellis Hotel, but the echoes of the past linger. Guests and staff frequently report strange phenomena, shadowy figures, unexplained cold spots, and the smell of smoke with no source. Some have even claimed to hear screaming in the night or to see faces in windows when no one is staying. One of the eeriest details, fire alarms have been reportedly gone off at 2:48 a.m., the exact time the original fire began. Elevators are known to move without being called, and items have been found mysteriously moved during renovations. Though modern and inviting on the outside, the Ellis Hotel carries the memory of a tragic night and perhaps the presence of those who never checked out. Hello y'all, it is Tots Spooky, and I would like to welcome you back to part 2 of the spookiest places in every United States state. Last video we went over the first 10 states alphabetically. Today we will be going over 11 to 20, so get your big boy pants on, because this one's going to be pretty spooky. So let's get into number 1, Hawaii. Right, mateys, I'm sorry if I say this wrong, but the Hawaii Community Correctional Center, a prison built on haunted ground, located in Honolulu, the Oahu Community Correctional Center isn't just a modern prison, it's a site layered with dark history and eerie legends. Long before the facility existed, the land was home to an ancient Hawaiian temple used for human sacrifices. Later, it became the site of public hangings, marking it as a place of death across generations. This grim past seems to linger. Inmates and guards alike have reported strange occurrences, voices in empty hallways, shadowy figures, cold spots, and unexplained noises. Some have even seen ghostly apparitions or felt intense pressure while sleeping, as if something unseen was sitting on their chest. Many believe the spirits of sacrificed individuals and executed prisoners remain restless and trapped. Hawaiian spiritual practitioners say the land's energy is disturbed and unlikely to settle without proper rituals. Whether viewed as folklore or something more, the OCCC stands as a chilling reminder of how the past can haunt the present. At first glance, the Bates Motel in Cordillera, Idaho might seem just like another roadside stop, but for those familiar with its chilling reputation, it's far more than that. This small budget motel has made a name for itself among paranormal enthusiasts as one of Idaho's most haunted spots. Guests have reported a wide range of eerie encounters: footsteps in empty hallways, doors opening on their own, lights flickering with no electrical issues, and the feeling of being watched. Some even claim to hear disembodied voices whispering late at night, or feel unseen hands brushing against them while they sleep. Room 1 is said to be particularly active, with reports of intense cold spots, shadow figures, and a lingering sense of dread. The activity has drawn comparisons to the infamous fictional Bates Motel from Hitchcock's Psycho, though this one frights may be real. No confirmed tragic events mark the property, but many believe the hauntings stem from residual energy left behind by former guests, or perhaps something even older, tied to the land itself. Despite, and maybe because of its haunted reputation, the motel remains open, attracting both travelers and thrill seekers hoping for a ghostly encounter. Whether you're brave enough to spend the night or just curious about Idaho's paranormal side, the Bates Motel offers a creepy glimpse into the unknown. Hidden in the quiet countryside near Equality, Illinois, the Crenshaw House, more infamously known as the Old Slave House, stands as one of the most haunted and disturbing sights in the Midwest. Though it looks like a stately 19th century mansion, its past is stained with cruelty, secrets, and a chilling legacy that refuses to fade. Built in the 1830s by John Hart Crenshaw, a wealthy salt baron, his house doubled as a center for illegal slaves trading. Despite Illinois being a free state, Crenshaw notoriously leased enslaved laborers for nearby salt works, and was believed to have kidnapped freed black people and sold them back into slavery across state lines. The third floor of the mansion, sealed off from view, held cramped, windowless cells where these individuals were imprisoned, a hidden prison inside a grand estate. For decades, stories of hauntings have surrounded the house. Visitors, caretakers, and ghost hunters have reported disembodied screams, cold drafts, doors slamming on their own, and apparitions lurking in the upstairs hallway. The attic, where the cells remain, is said to carry the heaviest spiritual weight. Many report overwhelming dread, or even nausea when stepping into the rooms where people once suffered in silence. The state of Illinois purchased the home in the 2000s, but closed it to the public, citing the need for restoration and further historical study, yet its legends continue to grow. Paranormal investigators still refer to it as one of the most haunted homes in America, not just for the ghosts, but deeply disturbing energy embedded in the walls. The Crenshaw house isn't just haunted, it's a grim monument to a dark chapter of American history. Located in downtown Indianapolis, the Slippery Noodle Inn is best known today as a legendary blues bar, but its reputation for strong drinks and live music is rivaled by stories of its haunted past. As the oldest continually operated bar in Indiana, its walls have seen more than just late-night jam sessions. Originally opened in 1850 as the Tremont House, the building has worn many identities over the decades, from a Civil War way station for Union soldiers to a Prohibition-era speakeasy complete with bootlegging tunnels and secret rooms. It's also believed that the upper floors once served as a brothel, a fact that may contribute to its lingering paranormal activity. Reports of ghostly figures, cold spots, phantom footsteps, and objects moving on their own have persisted for years. Staffs and guests alike have shared stories of a woman in old-fashioned clothing appearing near the upstairs window, and shadowy figures spotted in the basement, the same area where mob activity and illegal booze storage once occurred. Despite its ghostly guests, the Slippery Noodle Inn remains a vibrant part of the city's nightlife. Its haunted history only adds to the mystique, attracting both music lovers and paranormal investigators alike. Whether you're there for a drink, a show, or a brush with the unexplained, the Slippery Noodle Inn offers a truly unique slice of Indiana's spirited history. Tucked away near Burlington, Iowa, Stony Hollow Road might seem like an ordinary country lane at first glance, but according to decades of legend and countless chilling accounts, this desolate road is one of the most haunted spots in the state, and for good reason. At the heart of the legend is the ghost of a woman named Lucinda. As the story goes, Lucinda was a young bride-to-be who waited along the cliffs of Stony Hollow Road for her fiancé to arrive. When he never showed, she was overcome with grief and threw herself off the edge. Since then, locals say her spirit never left. Travelers who've dared to explore the road at night often report seeing a woman in white standing near the cliffs, vanishing when approached. Some say that if you call out Lucinda's name 3 times, she'll appear, but if she leaves a rose behind, it's a sign that death is coming for you. Chilling stories include phantom headlights, sudden cold gusts, and even people being chased by an unseen presence. Some visitors have broken down on the road without explanation, only for their cars to work perfectly once towed away. Despite its eerie reputation, Stony Hollow Road remains a popular spot for ghost hunters and thrill seekers, but be warned, those who go looking for Lucinda sometimes find more than they bargained for. In the quiet city of Atchison, Kansas, often called one of the most haunted towns in America, lies a secluded spot in Jackson Park known as Molly's Hollow. While the wooded trails and serene atmosphere may seem peaceful by day, locals know that the hollow holds a much darker, tragic past that has given rise to one of the region's most enduring ghost stories. According to legend, Molly was a young black woman who fell in love with a white man, a forbidden relationship at the time. When their romance was discovered, a violent mob abducted Molly and lynched her in the hollow. The official records are unclear, but the story has been passed down through generations and remains deeply embedded in local lore. Since then, many visitors have reported strange occurrences in the area, disembodied screams, weeping sounds, and the feeling of being watched, and commonly reported by those who venture near the hollow at night. Some say they've seen a ghostly female figure in the trees, while others have experienced sudden, unexplained cold spots. Despite the lack of concrete historical documentation, the emotional weight of the story, whether legend or true, has made Molly's Hollow a focal point of paranormal interest in Atchison. It's a chilling reminder of the area's past and a testament to how stories of injustice and loss can echo through time. Whether you're drawn by curiosity or caution, Molly's Hollow stands as one of Kansas's most unsettling haunts. Perched on a hill outside Louisville, Kentucky, the Waverly Hills Sanatorium looks like something out of a horror movie. Just like my ex, right? And for good reason. Once a state-of-the-art tuberculosis hospital, it's now widely regarded as one of the most haunted places in America. Built in 1910 during the height of the TB epidemic, Waverly Hills was intended to be a place of healing, but with no effective treatments available at the time, thousands of patients died within its walls. Many and agony. The death toll was so high that a tunnel beneath the building, originally designed to move supplies, became known as the Death Tunnel, used to discreetly transport bodies away from public view. Over the decades, ghost stories have flourished. Visitors report disembodied voices, shadowy figures, cold spots, and unexplained footsteps echoing through the empty halls. One of the most famous spirits is that of a young boy named Timmy, said to roll a ball down the corridors to those who call out to him. Another infamous story involves room 502, where two nurses reportedly died under tragic circumstances, one by suicide, another under mysterious conditions. Today, Waverly Hills is privately owned and offers regular tours for those brave enough to explore its haunted past. Paranormal investigators from around the world have visited the site, many leaving convinced that the spirits of Waverly are still much alive. Whether you're a ghost hunter or a history buff, Waverly Hills stands as a chilling reminder of a painful chapter in Kentucky's medical past and a hotspot for supernatural activity. Tucked away in the historic French Quarter of New Orleans, the La Tête guest house is more than just a charming boutique hotel. It's also a hot spot for ghostly encounters with its 19th century architecture, antique furnishings, and views of Bourbon Street. The guest house offers classic southern hospitality laced with an eerie, unexplained presence. Originally a private residence, the building has seen its share of tragedy. One of the most well-known tales centers around Room 21, where guests and staff report frequent paranormal activity. It's said that the room is haunted by the spirit of a young girl who died in the house, possibly from yellow fever, a devastating epidemic in New Orleans history. Visitors have described hearing the soft sound of a child crying or laughing, feeling cold spots, or waking up to the sensation of being watched. Some have even spotted a young girl's apparition staring out the window or standing quietly at the foot of the bed. Room 21 is so famously haunted that it's become a top request for ghost-curious travelers. Other areas of the house also seem to carry spiritual energy. Unexplained voices, flickering lights, and sudden shifts in temperature are common occurrences throughout the building. Despite these spooky happenings, the atmosphere remains inviting, a testament to New Orleans' unique blend of beauty, history, and mystery. The Lafayette Guest House is a perfect stay for anyone looking to experience the vibrant culture of the French Quarter with a side of the supernatural. Located on the island in the Mississippi River between Illinois and Iowa, Rock Island Arsenal isn't just a military stronghold, it's one of the most haunted military sites in the country. Still an active installation, the arsenal's deep history and its connections to war, imprisonment and death have left a ghostly imprint on the area. Originally established in the early 1800s, the island was once home to Fort Armstrong and later served as a Confederate prison during the Civil War. Over 12,000 Confederate soldiers were held here, and nearly 2,000 died due to disease exposure and overcrowding. Their remains are buried nearby in nearby cemeteries, but some believe their spirits never left. Visitors and personnel have reported eerie occurrences across the island, ghostly figures in uniform, phantom footsteps, and cold drafts in otherwise still buildings. One of the most haunted areas is the Confederate Cemetery, where people claim to see apparitions and hear whispers among the headstones. The Arsenal Museum and surrounding administrative buildings are also said to host unexplainable noises, flickering lights, and shadowy presences. Rock Island Arsenal represents a rare blend of living military tradition and ghostly legend. While its official role remains rooted in national defense, its spiritual presence tells a story of loss, war, and the kind of energy that time can't erase. Nestled in the quiet countryside of Waldorf, Maryland, the Dr. Samuel A. Mudd House is both a fascinating piece of Civil War history and a reported haunted site that draws curious visitors year-round. Best known for its connection to the Lincoln assassination, this 19th century farmhouse holds stories that go far beyond textbooks, some of them ghostly. On April 15, 1865, just hours after President Abraham Lincoln was shot, John Wilkes Booth fled Washington, D.C. with a broken leg and arrived at Dr. Mudd's home seeking help. Mudd treated the injury, later claiming he didn't know Booth's identity at the time. The decision cost him dearly. He was convicted of aiding an assassin and imprisoned, though eventually pardoned. Today, the house operates as a museum, preserved much as it was during that fateful night, but many say its history still lingers in more than just furniture and artifacts. Visitors and staff have reported strange activity throughout the property, unexplained footsteps, the sound of doors opening and closing on their own, cold spots, and even sightings of shadowy figures. Some believe the spirit of Dr. Mudd himself still walks the halls, troubled by his connection to one of the nation's most infamous crimes. Others claim to have seen figures in Civil War era clothing wandering the grounds or peering through the windows. Whether you're a history buff or a paranormal enthusiast, the Mudd House offers a rare and chilling look into the past where the echoes of history may still walk beside you. Hello mateys, today we will be going over the spookiest places in every US state, part 3, okay, so this is going to be states 21 to 30, I know it's going to be pretty spooky, so get your fucking big boy pants on, my fellow hood and words. So let's just get right into it with state number 21. The Taunton State Hospital was a psychiatric hospital located in Taunton, Massachusetts. It was established in 1854 as the State Lunatic Hospital at Taunton, becoming the second such hospital in the state. Designed by architect Elbridge Boyd, and the original building followed the Kirkbride plan, a popular 19th century layout for mental institutions emphasizing large symmetrical wings and natural light. The hospital served patients with a wide range of mental illnesses and became known for its advanced care during its early years. However, over time, overcrowding and underfunding became serious issues. By the mid-20th century, like many similar institutions, Taunton State Hospital faced decline due to changing mental health policies and the rise of deinstitutionalization. A significant portion of the original campus was closed in the 1970s and later abandoned. The central dome and much of the historic Kirkbride structure was demolished in 2009 after being deemed unsafe, especially following a major fire. Taunton State Hospital also has a reputation for being haunted and is often mentioned in paranormal lore, though parts of the hospital complex remain in use for mental health services today. Much of its original grandeur has been lost. Sounds pretty flippin' spooky to me, but you know. Yeah, well, that's Massachusetts. Let's move on. Michigan is home to many eerie legends, the ghost stories, and the unique paranormal tour offers brave visitors the chance to explore the state's most haunted sites. Organized by Haunts and Mackinac, this tour takes participants through chilling locations steeped in history and also mystery. One of the highlights is Fort Mackinac, a former military outpost dating back to the Revolutionary War. Visitors report hearing phantom footsteps and voices in the old barracks. The tour also explores historic downtown Mackinac Island, where several buildings have haunted reputations, including hotels and older residences. Guides share spine-tingling stories of unexplained events, tragic deaths, and ghost sightings, blending historical facts with supernatural lore. The experience is designed to be both educational and creepy, appealing to history buffs and thrill seekers alike. Whether you're a skeptic or a believer, this paranormal tour offers a fascinating and spooky glimpse into Michigan's haunted past. You know, I hadn't heard of Fort Mackinac before this video, but, you know, maybe I want to go there. I mean, it sounds pretty spooky, but I don't know, guys. Let's move on to number 22. No, 23, my bad. The Paranormal Fitzgerald Theatre in St. Paul, Minnesota is the state's oldest active theatre. Originally opened in 1910 as the Sam S. Schubert Theatre, over its long history, it has hosted countless performances, but it's also become known for something more chilling: ghostly activity. Staff and visitors have reported strange occurrences, including unexplained footsteps, flickering lights, and objects moving on their own. Some claim to have seen shadowy figures or heard disembodied voices echoing through the empty theatre. The building's historic architecture and long-standing presence in the city add to its eerie charm. One of the most common ghost stories involves a former stagehand believed to have died in the building. His spirit is said to linger backstage, occasionally seen in the wings or even felt through cold spots. Despite its haunted reputation, the Fitzgerald Theatre remains a vibrant venue for live performances and broadcasts, including the well-known A Prairie Home Companion. The mix of culture and mystery makes it a compelling stop for paranormal enthusiasts and theatre lovers alike. Stokey's Bridge, located near Enterprise, Mississippi, is steeped in dark legend and ghostly tales. The bridge, which spans the Chunky River, hey, chunky, just like my fucking ex, she was a big motherfucker, dates back to the 1850s and is named after Old Man Stokey, a supposed outlaw and innkeeper who is central to the area's haunted lore. According to legend, Stokey ran an inn near the bridge where he would rob and murder travelers, burying their bodies along the riverbank. Eventually, he was caught and hanged from the bridge by authorities. Locals claim that his restless spirit still haunts the site. Numerous witnesses have reported paranormal activity at the bridge, including sightings of a ghostly figure carrying a lantern, mysterious splashing sounds from the water below as if a body was dropped, and even the sound of creaking ropes thought to be the echoes of Stokey's hanging. Today, the bridge is a popular spot for ghost hunters and thrill seekers alike, though it remains rural and somewhat isolated, adding to its eerie atmosphere. Whether you believe the stories or not, Stokey's Bridge holds a chilling place in Mississippi folklore. The Missouri State Penitentiary in Jefferson City operated from 1836 to 2004, making it one of the oldest prisons west of the Mississippi River, known for housing infamous inmates like James Earl Ray, who later assaulted Martin Luther King Jr. The prison gained a reputation for harsh conditions, riots, and executions, and today it's equally known for its paranormal activity. After its closure, the site began hosting ghost tours, drawing in visitors curious about its haunted past. Many report experiencing cold spots, unexplained voices, shadowy figures, and even physical contact like being pushed or grabbed. Some of the most haunted areas include death row, solitary confinement, and the gas chamber, where 40 prisoners were executed. Tour guides and investigators link much of the supernatural energy to the prison's violent history, including a deadly 1954 riot that left several dead and hundreds injured. Paranormal researchers have captured EVP's electronic voice phenomena and chilling anomalies during investigations. Today, the Missouri State Penitentiary is considered one of America's most haunted sites. Boulder Hot Springs, located in Boulder, Montana, is a historic resort known not just for its natural mineral waters and peaceful setting, but also for its haunted reputation. Built in the late 1800s, the resort has a long and colourful history, including time spent as a sanatorium and a bordello, both of which contribute to its eerie legend. The most famous ghost said to haunt the hotel is Simone. Believed to be the spirit of a prostitute who was murdered in the building, guests and staff have reported seeing her apparition, often described as a woman in old-fashioned clothing, and hearing disembodied voices, footsteps, and doors opening or even closing on their own. Paranormal activity is especially noted in the upper levels, floors, and hallways, where visitors have also sensed sudden cold spots or felt like they were being watched. Despite its haunting tales, Boulder Hot Springs continues to operate as a relaxing retreat, combining spiritual wellness with a brush of the supernatural. The location is a favorite among ghost hunters and those intrigued by Montana's haunted history, making it a place where healing and hauntings coexist. In the quiet town of Valentine, Nebraska, stands Centennial Hall, the state's oldest remaining high school, built in 1897, though now a museum. Many believe it's still home to something far more unsettling than just old artifacts. The legend begins in the early 1940s, when a young girl reportedly died after playing a poisoned clarinet, possibly tampered with by a classmate. Since then, the building has been tied to tales of paranormal activity, especially in the former band room. Visitors report cold spots, flickering lights, and objects moving on their own. Some claim to hear phantom footsteps or the faint sound of a clarinet playing through empty halls. Staff avoid staying after dark, and paranormal teams have recorded EVPs and unexplained drops in temperature. The atmosphere, especially upstairs, is described as heavy, almost like being watched. Despite its haunted history, Centennial Hall remains a beloved piece of local heritage for those who dare to enter. It offers more than just history. It offers a brush with the unexplained. Is it just old pipes and creaky floors? Or the spirit of a girl still wanting to be heard? You know, after hearing that, I don't think I'm ever gonna play me a fucking clarinet. I mean, I wasn't in the first place. Nestled in Las Vegas, Nevada, Zach Bagan's Haunted Museum is far from your average attraction owned by the famous paranormal investigator and host of Ghost Adventures. Zach Bagan's this museum houses one of the most chilling and cursed collections of haunted artifacts in the world. From creepy dolls to sinister relics, every item here carries a dark story. The museum is infamous for objects believed to harbor restless spirits, including the notorious Annabelle doll, known for its violent hauntings, and the Dybbuk book, said to unleash misfortune and terror on anyone who owns it. Visitors and staff have reported eerie experiences inside the museum's walls, doors slamming shut on their own, strange whispers, unexplained cold spots, and sudden feelings of dread. Zach himself has spoken openly about the feeling and unsettling presence that follows him, as if the museum's shadows never truly rest. The building itself, an old mortuary, adds to the chilling atmosphere. Some say the spirits attached to these objects still roam the halls, waiting for someone to acknowledge their dark past. Paranormal investigators frequently capture EVPs, shadow figures, and other unexplained phenomena here. For thrill seekers and believers alike, Zach Bagan's Haunted Museum offers more than just a glimpse into haunted history. It offers a first-hand encounter with the supernatural. Step inside if you dare. You know, guys, this is actually a place on this list that I have actually been to. It is one of two spots that I've been to. I went back there in March of this year and I got the shit scared out of me. It was absolutely horrifying and I really want to go back because it was fucking fun. I recommend it. The next item on our list is the Alton Town Hall. In the historic town of Alton, the grand old building stands at the center of town. The Alton Town Hall, while it serves as a hub for local government and community events, many believe this building hides a darker secret beneath its dignified exterior. Built over a century ago, Alton Town Hall has been witness to countless gatherings, celebrations, and even tragedies. But some visitors and employees claim the echoes of the past never truly left. Reports of unexplained footsteps, sudden cold drafts, and flickering lights have become common. One of the most persistent legends involves the spirit of former town official who died unexpectedly within the building. Locals say his ghost roams the halls late at night, silently observing the rooms where he once worked. Some have even heard faint whispers or the rustle of papers in empty offices. On certain nights, the building takes on an eerie atmosphere, with doors opening and closing by themselves, and shadows darting just beyond the edge of vision. Paranormal investigators who have explored Alton Town Hall have recorded mysterious sounds and captured strange anomalies on camera, though many see the Alton Town Hall as a simply historic landmark for those who have experienced its strange happenings. The last item on this list is Devil's Tower in Alpine, New Jersey. I know y'all have heard of some Devil's Tower, but probably not this one. Tucked away in the quiet town of Alpine, New Jersey stands Devil's Tower, a strange and imposing stone structure shrouded in mystery and dark legends. Unlike the famous monolith out west, this Devil's Tower is a lesser-known local landmark with a chilling reputation. Built in the early 1900s by a wealthy eccentric, the tower was meant to be a private retreat, but over the decades, tales of haunting and strange happenings have grown around it. Locals speak of ghostly figures glimpsed near the tower's shadowy windows and unexplained sounds echoing from inside, especially on cold, windy nights. Some say the tower might be cursed, tied to the tragic fate of its original owner, who died under mysterious circumstances. Visitors have reported sudden drops in temperature, eerie whispers carried by the wind, and an overwhelming feeling of being watched. At night, the tower's silhouette against the moonlit sky creates an unsettling scene, drawing curious thrill seekers hoping for a glimpse of the supernatural. Paranormal enthusiasts who have explored the site claim to have captured unexplained noises, shadow figures, and fleeting glimpses of apparitions. Though Devil's Tower stands silent today, its dark history and lingering spirits continue to captivate those fascinated by the paranormal. Did I scare you? Well, you better get your fucking big boy pants on if that scared you, because today we will be going over the most haunted places in every state. Part 4. This is 4 out of 5. So get your fucking big boy pants on, because this one is going to be pretty fucking spooky. Anyway, let's get into number 431, New Mexico. The Dawson Cemetery, located near the former mining town of Dawson, New Mexico, stands as a solemn reminder of a once thriving coal mining commodity. Founded in the early 1900s by the Phelps Dodge Corporation, Dawson grew rapidly as workers from around the world came seeking jobs in the booming coal industry. At its height, the town supported thousands of residents and featured schools, stores, churches, and other amenities. However, the town's history was marred by two devastating mining disasters. In 1913, an explosion in mine number 2 killed 263 miners, and in 1923, another explosion in mine number 1 claimed the lives of 121 more. These were among the deadliest mining accidents in U.S. history. Most of the victims were laid to rest in Dawson Cemetery, where their graves are marked with white iron crosses that still stand today. The cemetery has become a symbol of both tragedy and remembrance, preserving the memory of those who lived and died in Dawson. After the mines closed in 1950s, the town was dismantled and largely disappeared, but the cemetery remains intact. Today it is the most visited by descendants, historians, and travelers, serving as a powerful testament to the human cost of early industrial labor and the resilience of a community that once called Dawson their home. The landmark theater in Syracuse, New York, opened in 1928 as a low-state theater, a lavish movie palace designed by renowned architect Thomas W. Lamb. With nearly 3,000 seats, it featured ornate architecture, gilded decor, and hand-painted murals, making it one of the grandest theaters of its time. After decades of film and vaudeville performances, the theater fell into decline and faced demolition in the 1970s. A local preservation group, SALT, saved the restored the venue, leading to its placement on the National Register of Historic Places in 1976. Today, the landmark hosts Broadway tours, concerts, and comedy acts following a major renovation in 2011. Though updated for modern performances, the theater retains its original elegance, standing as a treasured symbol of Syracuse's cultural heritage. The Biltmore Estate in Asheville, North Carolina is widely regarded as the most haunted location in the state. Built in the 1890s by George Washington Vanderbilt II, this massive 250-room mansion has long been associated with ghostly legends and unexplained activity. Visitors and staff have reported disembodied voices, particularly in the library, where George and his wife Edith are said to be heard whispering. The now drained indoor swimming pool is another hotspot, with claims of phantom splashing, laughter, and sudden chills. Others speak of cold spots, flickering lights, and the unmistakable feeling of being watched when no one else is around. Although the estate does not promote these tales, the volume and consistency of reports have earned it a strong reputation among the paranormal enthusiast. With its grand, shadowy halls and rich history, the Biltmore stands not only as an architectural masterpiece, but also as a magnet for mysterious and supernatural. Tucked away in the Churchill Mountains near Dunseth, Sandhaven Sanatorium is widely regarded as North Dakota's most haunted location. Originally opened in the early 1900s to treat tuberculosis patients, the facility later became a mental institution. Thousands passed through its doors and many never left. After it was shut down in the 1980s, the once bustling complex fell into eerie disrepair, leaving behind decaying buildings, long-forgotten medical equipment, and stories that continue to chill visitors to this day. Those brave enough to explore the site have reported phantom voices, shadowy figures, and sudden drops in temperature in empty rooms. Some claim to hear whispers echoing through the halls, while others speak of being watched by unseen eyes. One of the most disturbing legends involves the ghost of a child wandering the grounds. The building's tragic past was compounded by the death of a teenager in 2001 who fell through a floor while exploring the ruins. Today, Sandhaven stands as a haunting monument to suffering, illness, and mystery. Its silence broken only by the ghost said to roam its halls. Tell them boys hop off my dick, use a funky ass bitch. Hey, sorry guys, I was just listening to Tyler the Creator's new album. Well, anyway, the Ohio State Reformatory in Mansfield, Ohio is considered the most haunted location on the state and not one of the most chilling in the entire country. Opened in 1896, the massive Gothic-style prison was originally built to reform young, non-violent offenders. Over time, however, it became a place of suffering, violence, and overcrowding. Inmates endured brutal conditions and many died inside the prison, some from disease, others from suicide and murder. After it closed in 1990, the decaying cell blocks and crumbling corridors took on an even darker atmosphere. Its infamy only grew after serving as the filming location for The Shawshank Redemption, bringing even more attention to its haunted reputation. Visitors today report disembodied voices, cold spots, and sightings of shadowy figures throughout the prison, particularly in the solitary confinement wing in the basement, where the energy is said to be especially oppressive. Paranormal investigators claim to have captured eerie EVPs, flickering lights, and full-body apparitions. Some even say they've been touched or grabbed by unseen forces. With its tragic past and chilling energy, the Ohio State Reformatory stands as a terrifying monument to a darker chapter in Ohio's history, and a must-visit for ghost hunters and brave explorers alike. The Skirvin Hotel in Oklahoma City is not just a historical landmark, it's also considered the most haunted place in Oklahoma. Built in 1911, the luxury hotel quickly became a symbol of elegance, hosting politicians, athletes, and celebrities. But behind its polished facade lies a chilling legend. According to local law, a young maid named Aphie became pregnant after an affair with the hotel's founder, W.B. Skirvin. To avoid scandal, she was allegedly rocked in a room on the 10th floor. Well, overcome with despair, she jumped to her death, baby in arms. Since then, guests and employees have reported ghostly cries, unexplained noises, and phantom footsteps, especially around that floor. Some visitors claim to see a woman's apparition or hear a baby crying in the night. Others have experienced strange sensations, such as being touched or watched, with male guests in particular reporting flirtatious whispers from an unseen presence. Even professional athletes, including NBA players, have been so unnerved by their experiences at the Skirvin Hotel that they've asked not to stay there again. Still operating as a high-end Hilton hotel, the Skirvin blends grandeur with ghost stories, making it a must-visit for both travelers and paranormal thrill-seekers alike. Tucked deep in the Siskiyou Mountains of southern Oregon, the Oregon Cave Chateau in Cave Junction is known not only for its rust-chic 1930s charm, but also for its chilling paranormal reputation. Perched beside the entrance to Oregon Caves, this six-story wooden lodge has become the center of ghostly tales, especially surrounding room 310, where guests frequently report whispers, cold spots, and flickering lights. The most talked-about spirit is a woman named Elizabeth, believed to be the heartbroken bride who took her life in the chateau. Her ghost is said to silently drift through the upper floors, sometimes glimpsed in a pale gown before vanishing into chateau. Staff and visitors alike have described strange occurrences throughout the building: disembodied voices, phantom footsteps, and vintage music playing from nowhere. Phones ring in empty rooms and TVs turn on without explanation. Some believe the lodge's location above the ancient winding Oregon Caves adds to its spectral energy, creating a perfect storm for lingering spirits. Whether it's the isolation, the history, or something truly otherworldly, the chateau remains one of Oregon's most atmospheric and haunted destinations. Hidden in the woods of Spring City, Pennsylvania, the crumbling remains of Penhurst State School and Hospital loom like a decaying monument to a dark past and countless chilling encounters. Originally opened in 1908 as a state-run institution for the mentally and physically disabled, Penhurst quickly became notorious for abuse, overcrowding, and inhumane conditions. After decades of neglect and public scandal, the facility was finally shut down in 1987, kind of like the Bite of 87. Since then, stories of ghostly whispers, shadowy figures, and violent injury have surrounded the site, with paranormal investigators calling it one of the most haunted places in America. Visitors have reported hearing screams echoing through the empty hallways, feeling unseen hands tug at their clothes, and seeing full-bodied apparitions in the abandoned ward, particularly active in the underground tunnel system where staff once transported patients out of public view, now said to be a hotspot of intense spiritual activity, whether drawn by tragedy, suffering, or something deeper. Whatever lingers at Penhurst State's unwilling to rest. Perched along the rocky coastline of Newport, Rhode Island, Seaview Terrace, also known many as the Carey Mansion, is a grand Gothic revival mansion with a haunted reputation as striking as its architecture. Built in the early 1900s and featured famously as the exterior for the cult classic Dark Shadows, the mansion is steeped in eerie tales. Visitors and former residents have reported ghostly figures drifting through the halls, cold spots in otherwise warm rooms, and the sounds of distant footsteps echoing when no one else is around. Some even claim to hear a woman's voice softly singing in the dead of night, believed to be the former lady of the house who never truly left. With its looming towers, shadowed corridors, and storied past, Seaview Terrace naturally invites speculation about what lingers behind its dark wood paneling and stained glass. The mansion's blend of historical tragedy, cinematic legacy, and architectural eeriness make it one of Rhode Island's most compelling haunted sites. Whether it's residual energy from its past inhabitants or the echo of fictional horrors brought to life, Seaview Terrace remains a chilling chapter in Newport's paranormal history. The South Carolina Lunatic Asylum in Columbia. Is that right? One of the oldest mental health institutions in the United States, carries a heavy and haunted legacy. Built in the 1820s and opened in 1828, the massive granite structure known as the Mills Building housed thousands of patients over the decades, many of whom suffered under outdated and cruel treatments. As the building aged and horror stories of neglect surfaced, the asylum developed a chilling reputation. Today, long after its closure, tales of ghostly apparitions, disembodied screams, and shadowy figures lurking in corners have become common among urban explorers and paranormal investigators. Visitors claim to hear doors slamming on their own, whispering voices echoing through the empty wards, and feel cold spots in rooms that were once used for confinement and electroshock therapy. Some say the spirits of former patients still roam the halls, trapped in the place where they endured years of pain and isolation. Whether stirred by history or haunted by the past, the South Carolina Lunatic Asylum remains a bone-chilling monument to a time when mental illness was misunderstood and compassion often came too late. Hello YouTube, it is your favourite spookster YouTuber, Taught Spooky, here with the final instalment of my first YouTube series, the spookiest places in every United States state. You know, it's been a hell of a ride, but you know, this is like one of my favourite series, and I've gained like a pretty decent amount of subscribers off of this. Well, anyway, this is the last one, so make sure you get your fucking big boy pants on, because it's going to be pretty fucking spooky. And I made a mistake in the first ever video. I forgot to mention Colorado entirely, so I will actually be listing Colorado as the first one, just as an apology. So, let's get first right into it with Colorado. Nestled in the picturesque town of Estes Park, Colorado, the Stanley Hotel is famous not just for its stunning views of the Rocky Mountains, but for its chilling reputation as one of America's most haunted places. Built in 1909 by Freeland Oscar Stanley, co-founder of the Stanley Motor Carriage Company, the hotel quickly became a luxurious mountain retreat for the elite, but it wasn't until author Stephen King stayed there in room 217 in 1974 that its eerie legacy exploded into pop culture. Inspired by a nightmare that he had during his stay, King wrote The Shining, forever binding the Stanley to supernatural lore. Guests and staff alike have reported strange occurrences, phantom piano music echoing from the empty ballroom, shadowy figures moving through halls, and mysterious laughter from empty rooms. Room 217, where King stayed, is infamous for odd happenings like luggage unpacking itself or lights flickering at random. Other hotspots include room 428, where a cowboy spirit reportedly watches guests as they sleep, and the fourth floor, where the giggles of unseen children are frequently heard. Whether you're a skeptic or a believer, a night at the Stanley Hotel offers a spine-tingling blend of history and hauntings that's hard to shake. Okay, y'all, so before we actually get into this is actually another one of the haunted places on this list that I have actually been to. And also, there are some offensive symbols in here, but they meant a different thing back when this place was built. So don't get offended, okay? Okay, so towering 11 stories over downtown Rapid City, South Dakota, the Hotel Alex Johnson is a striking blend of elegance, history, and eerie legend. Built in 1928 by namesake railroad executive Alex Carlton Johnson, the hotel was designed to merge Germanic Tudor style with Native American influences, honoring the Black Hills cultural heritage. Over the years, it has hosted presidents, celebrities, and even Alfred Hitchcock during the filming of North by Northwest. But beyond its historic charm lies a darker side, one that has earned it a reputation as one of South Dakota's most haunted locations. The most infamous spirit said to roam the halls is the Lady in White, believed to be the ghost of a heartbroken bride who plunged to her death from a window out the 8th floor in the 1970s. Guests have reported seeing her drifting through the corridors in a flowing gown, while others have experienced lights flickering, faucets turning on by themselves, and chilling drafts in room 812. Staff and visitors also speak of a ghostly little girl who knocks on doors before vanishing, and an old man in vintage clothes who appears in the lobby without warning. With its storied past and supernatural buzz, the Hotel Alex Johnson remains a must-visit for ghost hunters and brave travelers alike. One of the most haunted places in Tennessee is the Bell Witch Cave in Adams, a site shrouded in mystery, folklore, and chilling encounters for over 200 years. The legend began in the early 1800s when the Bell family reported terrifying paranormal activity on their farm, phantom voices, objects moving on their own, and violent attacks by an unseen force. The entity, later known as the Bell Witch, seemed to focus most of its fury on John Bell and his daughter Betsy, tormenting them with disembodied voices, hair-pulling, and even physical slaps. John Bell eventually died under mysterious circumstances, which some say was the witch's final act of vengeance. The nearby Bell Witch Cave, a limestone cavern on the former Bell property, is now considered the epicenter of the haunting. Visitors and paranormal investigators have reported eerie feelings, unexplained sounds, malfunctioning electronics, and ghostly figures deep within the cave. Many believe the witch's spirit still resides there, protecting its secrets and warding off the curious. With its deep roots in southern folklore and a long trail of eerie experiences, the Bell Witch Cave remains Tennessee's most chilling and iconic haunted location. One of the most haunted places in Texas is the Magnolia Hotel in Swagan, a 19th century structure with a chilling legacy. Originally built as a log cabin in the 1840s, the property later became a stagecoach shop, courthouse, jail, and eventually a hotel. Its long and varied history includes stories of murder, suicide, and intense paranormal activity, earning it a spot on countless ghost hunting shows and lists of America's most haunted sites, just like the ones I'm making, mate. Visitors and overnight guests have reported disembodied voices, shadow figures, and even full-bodied apparitions. The most infamous spirit is that of a young woman known as Itzy, believed to have been murdered in the hotel. Other reports include the ghost of a traveling salesman who hanged himself in one of the rooms, and a former prisoner who died violently when the building housed a jail. Paranormal investigators claim the spirits are essentially active in the original section of the hotel, where cold spots, flickering lights, and ghostly whispers are common. The Magnolia Hotel has since been restored, but the spirits seem to have never checked out, making it one of Texas' eeriest and most active haunted destinations. One of the most haunted places in Utah is the Rio Grande Depot in Salt Lake City. Built in 1910, the historic train station was once a bustling hub for travelers coming in and out of the state. Though now home to Utah State Historical Society and other offices, and the building carries a ghostly reputation that's hard to ignore. Over the decades, staff and visitors have reported chilling encounters, phantom footsteps, shadowy figures, and the overwhelming feeling of being watched in empty corridors. The most famous ghost tied to the depot is known as the Purple Lady, just like Five Nights at Freddy's. According to the legend, she was a young woman who was killed in a tragic accident on the train tracks while chasing after a lost engagement ring during the early 20th century. Her spirit, often seen in a violet dress, reportedly lingers near the women's restroom in the main hall, appearing and vanishing without a trace. Lights flicker, doors slam, and some claim to have even spoken with her, only to realize moments later they were alone. With its rich history and persistent paranormal activity, the Rio Grande Depot stands as Utah's most famously haunted landmark. One of the most haunted places in Vermont is the chilling Emily's Bridge in Stowe, officially known as Goldbrook Bridge. This 19th century covered bridge is steeped in legend and sorrow. According to the local folklore, a young woman named Emily was tragically jilted by her lover, either left waiting at the altar or abandoned at the bridge where they had planned to elope. Heartbroken and devastated, she is said to have taken her own life by hanging herself from the rafters of the bridge. Since then, strange and disturbing phenomena have plagued the area. Visitors to Emily's Bridge have reported intense paranormal experiences, claw-like scratches on vehicles, phantom footsteps echoing in the wooden boards, disembodied screams in the dead of night, and sudden cold spots. Some claim to have seen a misty white figure or glowing white eyes watching from the shadows. Others feel an overwhelming sense of sadness or even aggression when crossing the bridge alone. Those skeptics chalk it up to folklore. The countless eerie accounts over the years have cemented Emily's Bridge as Vermont's most haunted and heartbreaking location. One of the most haunted places in Virginia is the infamous St. Albans Sanatorium in Radford. Originally built in the late 1800s as a Lutheran boys' school, the site gained a dark reputation for bullying, violence, and suicides. In 1916, it was converted into a psychiatric hospital, an era where treatments like electroshock therapy, lobotomies, and hydrotherapy were common and often cruel. The combination of emotional trauma, suffering, and death seems to have left a deep, eerie imprint on the building. Today, St. Albans is a hotbed for paranormal activity. Ghost hunters and visitors report disembodied voices, shadow figures darting through the halls, objects moving on their own, and sudden, unexplained drops in temperature. The most haunted spots include the electroshock therapy room in the bowels of the old basement, where people claim to hear screams and whispers. Some have even seen apparitions of former patients wandering aimlessly through the crumbling corridors. With its tragic past and spine-chilling atmosphere, St. Albans Sanatorium remains one of Virginia's most terrifying and haunted locations. One of the most haunted places in Washington is the Northern State Hospital in Sadgerwooly. Opened in 1912 as a self-sufficient psychiatric facility, it once housed over 2,000 patients and featured its own farms, workshops, and even a cemetery. Though it closed in 1973, much of the original campus still stands, and so, it seems, do the lingering past and spirits. The hospital's dark history includes outdated and often brutal treatments such as lobotomies, isolation, and electroshock therapy. Visitors and paranormal investigators have reported chilling experiences, unexplained cold spots, voices echoing in empty hallways, and shadowy figures peering from broken windows or wandering through abandoned buildings. The most unsettling area is the old morgue and the surrounding fields, where bodies were once buried in unmarked grave. Today, parts of the sites are used by local agencies, but many buildings remain off limits, yet they continue to draw thrill seekers hoping to glimpse something beyond the veil. With its tragic past and heavy atmosphere, Northern State Hospital is considered Washington's most haunted location. Fun fact, my bitch of an ex used to live in Washington. Fuck you, Shaylee, you're a bitch. The most haunted place in West Virginia is without question the Allegheny, I have no fucking clue how to say that, lunatic asylum in Weston. Originally opened in 1864 as the Weston State Hospital, it was designed to house 250 patients, but at its peak it held over 2,400, leading to horrific overcrowding and neglect. The asylum saw nearly a century of lobotomies, inhumane conditions, and patient abuse before closing in 1994. Its Gothic architecture and dark history make it one of the most terrifying and paranormal active locations in the country. Visitors report chilling encounters throughout the massive crumbling structure, ghostly apparitions in the hallways, unexplainable screams and whispers, sudden cold spots, and the feeling of being watched. Some of the most haunted areas include the lobotomy recovery room, the women's ward, and the Civil War era wing. Spirits said to linger include a young girl named Lily, who was often heard laughing or playing, and more aggressive entities that provoke dread and unease. With its tragic history and relentless paranormal activity, the Allegheny Lunatic Asylum is widely regarded as West Virginia's most haunted and unforgettable destinations. One of the most haunted places in Wisconsin is the Vista Hotel in Milwaukee. Built in 1893, this elegant Victorian hotel has hosted dignitaries, celebrities, and presidents over its long history, but behind its luxurious facade lies a chilling reputation for paranormal activity that has intrigued ghost hunters and visitors alike for decades. Guests and staff have reported encounters with several spirits, the most famous being that of a mysterious woman in a long dress who appears in the hallways and even in guest rooms, known as the Lady in White. She is said to be the restless spirit of a bride who tragically died on a wedding day. Other phenomena include unexplained footsteps, flickering lights, and objects moving on their own. The hotel embraces its spooky side, offering ghost tours that delve into its haunted past. With its blend of history, elegance, and eerie encounters, the Vista Hotel remains one of Wisconsin's most fascinating haunted landmarks. You know, if I ever go to Wisconsin, I'm not going there. I'm getting me some fucking cheese curds because I'm a fat little bitch. One of the most haunted places in Wyoming is the Occidental Hotel in Buffalo. Built in 1880 during the town's booming railroad days, this historic hotel has seen its share of Wild West drama, including gunfights, outlaw visits, and tragic deaths. Over the years, the Occidental has become famous not just for its old-time charm, but for its paranormal activity that draws ghost hunters and curious visitors alike. Guests and staff have reported mysterious footsteps echoing in empty hallways, doors opening and closing on their own, and the feeling of being watched by unseen presence. The spirit of a woman named Miss Mary, who reportedly died tragically on the premises, is said to haunt the third floor, sometimes seen wandering in a white dress. Another frequent apparition is a cowboy spirit who roams the lobby and bar area. With its rich history and restless ghosts, the Occidental Hotel remains one of Wyoming's most famously haunted locations. Acting like a poppycock, pull up on you with my Glock. Did see me, they hard as rock. Did see me, they hard as rock. Pull up on you in my buggy, yeah, your bitchy looking ugly. Fuck your bitchy tryna sug me. Fuck your bitchy.